Y'all went crazy on the first video. We hit that 20 likes threshold, so I told y'all it was coming, and here it is. Today we're gonna go over the Fire Emblem games that you may have heard of. All the ones before were exclusive to Japan, but all of these games are where Fire Emblem first started to come to North America and European regions. Since y'all hit 20 likes on that first video, let's run this video up to 50. Let's go ahead and hop right into the video. On November 3rd, 2003, Fire Emblem saw its first North American release with its 7th entry into the series, Fire Emblem The Blazing Blade, or simply Fire Emblem. It's a common misconception that this game is the first Fire Emblem game in the series, given that every game prior was released only in Japan. Also, since most people know this game is simply Fire Emblem in North America. Fire Emblem 7 acts as a prequel to The Binding Blade, which was released 2 years prior exclusively in Japan. With this being the first Fire Emblem game to be released worldwide, an 11-chapter tutorial was included to introduce players to the series. This game also carried over the difficulty selection option presented in The Binding Blade by allowing players to play on higher difficulties after completing the game first. I would greatly recommend this to anyone that's their first Fire Emblem game, given that this game includes a tutorial, and it is extremely mechanically friendly to newcomers. Also, the graphics really hold up on this game well. The animations on this game look crazy. The good thing about this game is since it was released in North America, it can be played on a Game Boy Advance, but if you do not have access to that, you can also play this today on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Overall, I would say Fire Emblem made a great first impression worldwide with this one. On May 23, 2005, Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones was released in North America for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance, making it the 8th game in the series, and the 2nd game to be released worldwide. Fire Emblem 8 features game mechanics extremely similar to the previous 2 titles, but now with a completely unrelated story. Fire Emblem 8 shares many similarities with Gaiden, such as branching promotions and a traversable world map. This game is another fantastic entry point into the series for all the same reasons as The Blazing Blade. If you're looking to play Fire Emblem 8 today, then you can buy it on the Wii U Virtual Console, but you have until April 8th, 2024 to get it, since the Wii U shop is going to be closing now. You can also get it on official hardware if you're able to get your hands on a copy of the Game Boy Advance version, as well as the Game Boy Advance. If you like Ike in Super Smash Bros., well, this is where he originates from. On October 17, 2005, the 9th installment in the Fire Emblem franchise was released to North America, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Path of Radiance was released on Nintendo GameCube and is the first game in the series to feature 3D character models in animated cutscenes. Path of Radiance brought a number of new mechanics to the series, such as bonus experience, base conversations, and biorhythm. This game also has an excellent story that ties heavily into the next game into the series. I would strongly recommend this game to anyone, but there is a bit of a problem with its availability. Currently, Path of Radiance is only available officially on the Nintendo GameCube, and resale prices for this game are not cheap. Until this game is re-released, your best option to play it would be through an emulator, but all in all, I would say this is still a fantastic game that you should give a try. On November 11, 2007, Fire Emblem brought in the 10th game in the franchise, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Radiant Dawn was released on the Nintendo Wii as a sequel to the previous title, Path of Radiance. Radiant Dawn is set 3 years in the future from the events of Path of Radiance. This is why Ike appears to be older in some of his Super Smash Bros. Alternate costumes. Radiant Dawn is one of the most unique games in the series, with it being split into 4 parts and seeing you control 2 different armies throughout the story. Gameplay is very similar to that of Path of Radiance, but with some improvements made to some of the additional mechanics. A cool new feature exclusive to Radiant Dawn is the addition to transfer your completed save file from Path of Radiance. This will allow you to gain bonuses on the characters that you previously maxed out in Radiant Dawn. Unfortunately, Radiant Dawn faces the same availability issues as Path of Radiance, with resale being expensive and it being limited to the Nintendo Wii, but I can promise you, if you're able to play Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, you will have a great time. These are 2 fantastic titles that you really do not want to miss. On February 16, 2009, the 11th game in the Fire Emblem franchise was released on Nintendo DS, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. If that name sounds familiar, that's because Shadow Dragon is a remake of the first Fire Emblem game Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. Shadow Dragon is the first Fire Emblem game to be released on the console with dual screen monitors. This is used to display additional information for characters while still allowing the player to view the map. Shadow Dragon is the first game in the series to introduce reclassing, which allows players to change the class of any character, except for Marth, of course, because he's special. Shadow Dragon also features a Link Arena, which can be used to battle other players online using the characters you use in the story. If you want to play Shadow Dragon today, it is available on the Wii Virtual Console until April 8th when the shop will be discontinued, or you can purchase it for official hardware on the Nintendo DS. With all of the updates made from the original game, this is by far the best way to experience Marth's original journey. On July 15, 2010, the 12th entry of the Fire Emblem series was released exclusively in Japan for the Nintendo DS, Fire Emblem New Mystery of the Emblem. This game is a remake of Book 2 of Fire Emblem 3 Mystery of the Emblem. New Mystery features many gameplay elements that were present in Shadow Dragon, as well as some new ones. One of the most notable new features added to New Mystery is the addition of Casual Mode. This mode disables the permanent death feature, which is present throughout the series, allowing players to play through maps in a more casual manner. This is also the first Fire Emblem game to introduce the Avatar unit, which is a fully customizable playable unit. Both of these new features will become staples in the games to come. Since New Mystery does not have an official US release, the only way to play it in English would be through an emulator with a translation patch, which I did link in the description. If you are a fan of Marth and you have played Shadow Dragon, I would definitely recommend giving this game a go. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for still watching. We got one more part in the trilogy, so let's get that 50 likes so we can get this on out the way. You feel me? I know y'all want to see it. If you don't know anything to say in the comments, say we like Ike, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Okay? All right.